Hello guys and welcome to the IndianGrizzly. I hope you guys are doing well and have had a positive start to the year. In today's video, we are going to talk about a man who envisioned India 2020, the legend who sacrificed his whole life for his vision. Yes, it's our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
I'ma take it. Take it.
October 15th, 1931. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was born in the coastal city of Rameshwaram in a pre-independence era. He was just a teenager when India got its independence. His father was a boatman and Kalam had a lot of siblings growing up. He had a very difficult and challenging childhood and he had to sell newspapers to financially support his family. But Kalam was also a very hardworking child. He used to wake up 4 in the morning every day, take his classes and then go sell newspapers in the Rameshwaram railway station. Growing up, he was always said to be a hard-working boy more than a talented one. So whatever Kalam wanted to learn, he always practiced it over and over again. Dr. Abdul Kalam wanted to join the Air Force as a fighter pilot. Yes, one of the most sweetest and calmest legends in our Indian history wanted to become a fighter pilot, but he just couldn't enroll in our Air Force because he missed it by one rank. Later on, he joined the DRDO and worked for 40 years to make India a nuclear superpower. He was also a key member in the ISRO and he played pivotal roles in both ISRO and DRDO. He was also a key member and a participant in the nation's defense as an advisor. As a scientist, he played a very important role in the development of space vehicles, nuclear mechanisms and defense mechanisms. It was during his time that India undertook a lot of scientific and nuclear missions. The great mission of Pokhran is one such example, and Abdul Kalam was awarded the 3 highest civilian awards for his contribution to the ISRO and the DRDO. For almost 25 years, he was on national duty, and it was during that time he developed the high-tech indigenous missiles such as Agni and Prithvi, thus earning him the name the Missile Man of India. There are a lot of accomplishments that Abdul Kalam did as a scientist. I'll make a separate video on that because there is just so much to talk about. After his scientist life, he went on to become a professor, and for a couple of years he worked as a professor giving lectures to his beloved students with so much passion and love. Because for him personally, teaching is one of the best professions that he had ever had. And I read one such story which happened when he was a professor, which I'd like to share with you all. It was the year 2002 and at that time Abdul Kalam was a professor in Anna University, Chennai. It was one such day that he was receiving a lot of calls, but Abdul Kalam unfortunately left his cell phone in the class that he had just lectured. After the class, Abdul Kalam had sat down to prepare his notes for his next lecture. It was at that time the chairman of the university came running towards him. Abdul Kalam asked him what was going on, and he said that he has been constantly receiving calls for the last half an hour and Abdul Kalam didn't pick it up. He immediately handed over the phone to him and it was Andhra's Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu on the line. He said that the then Prime Minister of our country, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, was trying to reach him for half an hour to break down a very important news to him, and he requested Dr. Kalam to keep his phone right next to him as he may receive a call from the PM's office anytime. And shortly after, he received a call from the PM's office and he picked it up and they connected him to the Prime Minister. Then Atal Bihari Vajpayee broke the news that he and all the members of the BJP wanted him to be the president, and he requested Kalam that he does not decline this offer, for which Kalam asked for 2 hours of time. Kalam describes this 2 hours as the most confusing 2 hours of his life because he was at crossroads. Right now, he has 2 roads in front of him. One, his favorite profession, being a lecturer, teaching students. And number 2 is being a president, which has a lot of hindrances, but it gives him a chance to influence youngsters, make them goal-oriented, and finally make India a superpower by 2020. And 2 hours later, he received a call from the PM's office and he said, I am willing to run for president if the Congress also supports it. And even Sonia Gandhi, the leader of Congress, after discussing it with her members, was fully in support of Kalam running for president. He was nominated by the NDA and within half an hour's time, it was made official and it was all over the news and media. People were so happy that Kalam was running for president, and when the elections officially commenced, he won with a difference of 8 lakh votes, and he single-handedly gathered 9 lakh votes, which made him the 11th president of India. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, during his tenure, was an extraordinary president and a man of action. He never took a salary for being a president. Instead, he donated all to the charity Pura, which basically stands for providing amenities to rural India. He was one of the most influential presidents the country has ever had and one of the most beloved politicians too. He believed eradicating corruption through a very unique way. He brought a different approach to it, and he always believed that corruption is encrypted in a person's mind with the way that he has been parented. So he said, a father should always take care of a child's discipline, a mother should always show him love and nurture, and a teacher should always guide him in the right path. After this, Abdul Kalam traveled school after school and college after college, influencing and impacting everyone on his way. The students started celebrating him as a huge superhero through poems, posters and pictures, and even at one point, fans clubs started getting established for Dr. Kalam. His speeches in the United Nations is a very astonishing incident. To this day, he was one of the most celebrated politicians of all time. He was so loved that people wanted him to take office after the tenure of Pratibha Patel, thus earning him the name the People's President. He believed the youth is the future of the country. He never got married, he never had any children. He genuinely accepted every children of India as his own. There was a particular incident where a student asked him why wasn't he married, to which he answered, if I was married, I would have been busy taking care of my own children. I wouldn't have had the time to show attention to you. So instead, I decided not to get married and show love and attention to the children of India. Kalam was also a very spiritual man. He was a poet who wrote a lot of poems in Tamil, and people loved him irrespective of his religion. He grew beyond religion, and not just Indians, the whole world loved him irrespective of where they belonged and what religion and faith they practiced. He sacrificed his whole life for this vision. His vision was this: he always believed in dreamers. For him, somebody aiming for a low life is as equal as a crime. He always wanted and encouraged Indians to dream about an above average life. He never wanted them to dream about living a normal and mediocre life. That is exactly why he wanted to be remembered as a professor first, as a teacher first, and then as a scientist, and then as a president. On July 27, 2015, at the age of 83, Dr. Kalam sadly passed away right after giving a speech to students in Shillong. He died doing what he loved the most. But he is still alive in our minds and in our actions. His vision was to see India as a superpower by 2020. We may not be there yet, but I genuinely believe that someday we will become a superpower. Jai Hind.